Okay, and is there anybody left in the, okay, good, you let people in from the waiting room. Okay, so could I have a motion to leave executive session at 7:53 PM?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, great. All right, so moving down the agenda, we have the applicants for the alternate seat that we have opened. So if you go to the materials for this meeting that Jared had uploaded, we reached out to Brian Hastings and Mary Ellen Epstein, and they are both still interested in the alternate seat. They let us know. And then we had one more applicant show their interest, Naomi Joseph. So we have Brian, Mary Ellen, and Naomi. So
Can we add
Brian
all-
and Mary Ellen,
I'm sorry.
sorry,
Can we
go
add
ahead.
3 or not?
We have 3. Yeah.
Yeah, we add all 3 up to the,
Yeah, they're all under one file in that document. So just to go over, if you guys remember, Brian had been a commissioner before. He has volunteered as a coach in a few of our programs. And Mary Ellen's children have taken part in our programs, and she's shown an interest in joining the commission before. And then Naomi, we just recently received her interest, and she's a parent in town, and then also recently was elected to the Board of Education.
I think she also teaches gym classes because I talked to her before.
Yeah, I believe that she didn't put this in her email, but I know that she also, or maybe she had, and I can't remember, but she is a substitute teacher at Housatonic High School sometimes too. I guess my initial thoughts on these applicants, one, I think that it's still so wonderful and exciting that we have 3 awesome candidates to choose from now, like we had before. And I think it's really wonderful that Mary Ellen and Brian continue to show their interest, even though a little time has passed since they did before. I guess I think that we would do well with all of them. I really like that Brian has already been a huge part of the Parks and Rec program the last couple of years, coaching multiple seasons. I like that experience. I think that that's great. So I guess that I'm slightly leaning towards him. I don't know if anybody else has any thoughts.
Yeah, let's get all 3 on board real quick.
We have to choose one for
We
the
have to
seat.
choose one.
Oh,
But John, you made a really great case for Brian the last
last-
time we were
yeah.
voting.
that would be my choice again. My vote's for Brian.
Anybody else?
I think they all show
Potential.
potential, so I think if Brian had been on before, that sort of gives him a little bit of an edge. Although I'm really pleased that Naomi, as a relative newcomer to Kent, wants to get so involved. And I always like trying to get new people in town involved.
I agree.
It's nice to have a choice, though. It's
It's great.
a
And
better
whoever
position to be in.
ends up not being chosen tonight, like, I think that we definitely want to let them know that we hope that they remain interested, that it's not, that it's solely because we only have one seat open right now, but seats do open up.
Keep them on the bench.
Yep.
I just, I think they're all great candidates too, and they're all been a part of our programs. I just got to give, Brian the props as I did last time, just simply because he's such a devoted volunteer, and, more so than volunteering, he's been, especially with the basketball program, because that's his forte, really involved in helping me, brainstorm this or brainstorm that. So he's already, he's already gotten heavily involved in the park and rec on the sports end, and he's just been a great resource. So I just wanted to throw that out there. That's my 2 cents regarding Brian. I mean, they're all great. I just, have had a lot of good interactions with him, as we've rebuilt these sports programs.
Well, that goes a long way.
Yes. So it sounds like we have people leaning towards Brian. Are we to the point where people would be okay with making a motion?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So could we have a motion to recommend to the Board of Selectmen, Brian Hastings for the alternate opening, with a 1-year term ending in January 2024?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I,
Can we also notify the other ones to be on a waiting list?
Yeah, oh, I'm definitely gonna let them know that this is
Yeah.
solely because we have one seat and someone had already been an extremely active volunteer, but we hope that they still consider us when we have more openings and would love for them to be involved in any other way.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right, great, thank you, guys. Now, the report on hourly employees. Jared, do you want to go ahead?
Yep. During February, Shane worked 4 hours of basketball and 3 hours cleaning up from the craft fair at Town Hall. Not craft fair, the craft party. Lizzie worked 6 hours of basketball and 2 hours at the craft fair. And then Tom worked 3 hours at the craft fair and worked 3 hours at basketball, staying late after ASP. And that's it.
Is there a lot of people coming late to pick up the kids, Jared?
I wouldn't say there's a lot, but we have some people who come, a little bit late, a little bit after 5:30. And then Tom usually stays, cleans up, wipes down the tables, talks with the parents, etc.
So they let you know in advance, right?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no, but Tom has a great relationship with the parents, so they're in a groove and I don't question it.
Awesome, thank you, Jared.
You're welcome.
And then truck purchase update.
Shane and I went to Hartford today to pick up the truck, and it is now in our possession and it's parked outside of Town Hall, probably getting covered in snow. And there was no issues with really anything. It was a smooth process. We have the title and we took it back, the hour and 45 minutes back, and we had it on side roads, we had it on the highway, and everything was right as rain. I mean, listen, it has 150,000 miles on it, and you can, tell it's been a used car, but it's, we had no issues. We had no issues at all with it.
Awesome, that's great.
But real quick, what was the final price on that?
So it was a little over $6,000, like 6,200.
6,200. It didn't have a lot of
Okay.
rust, so that was pretty good.
Couldn't hear you, John.
What's that?
You sort of faded out there.
I said it didn't have a lot of rust on it, which was very good, so.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's only 8 years old, so time is on its side. It's really just the miles, but otherwise, I mean, even the interior is, really good. So it'll serve its purpose for sure.
Good.
Yeah.
Great. All right, playground update. Believe that we were in front of inland wetlands this evening.
Yeah, sorry, I had to leave there. Apparently you can't do 2 Zooms at once. I didn't know that. And I don't have a smartphone. So yes, because we were within 200 feet of a water course, even though we were at the very edge of it, we were still within the 200 feet. We did have to submit a plan to them, and that plan would dictate how we plan to prevent soil and building materials, etc., from running off into the brook that runs through the park. And so Ty, who's our land use administrator, her, myself, and John from the playground company, we had a meeting about a month ago, and she helped us put together just a plan for erosion control. And it was submitted to inland wetlands, and we met tonight. They accepted the application, and they said that they think that it'll be approved and we're good to go. But even if not, it's just a few quick changes, maybe where we lay this silt fence or something like that, but that we're basically, for all intents and purposes, good to go.
Excellent.
And
Wonderful news.
yeah, and the playground, it looks like it'll be installed in August.
That's so exciting. It's going to be amazing for the town. It's awesome.
Yeah, and when Jean, myself, and Kate from the library and Stephanie, when we did our big presentation, at the end, I showed the kids, I printed out pictures of the playground and laminated them, and the kids passed them around, and they were so excited. I mean, it was like they were all gathered around the photos and oohs and ahs, and it was just like you'd imagine it would be, like just true excitement. So I really think this is the start of what we have all been working hard to do.
Fantastic. Great work. On to more great work. Programming, Camp Kent.
Okay. So I said we've had several meetings with Club Getaway, and basically, as you guys know, they're a for-profit business, and they basically gave us I shouldn't say they did give us Club Getaway for free last year. But this year, obviously, that was kind of the show of good faith, and this year we had to come to basically more of an arrangement that they would be able to make a little bit of profit. So we went back and forth, myself, David, Pauline, and we did a bunch of number crunching, and what I have right now is a workshop proposal, and want to see what everyone thinks. So first and foremost, it would be a six-week camp again. We would start the last full week in June, which is June 26th. We wouldn't have a camp on the week of July 3rd. They do not have availability, but I do have an alternate proposal for that week, which we'll get to later. But then Camp Kent would continue the week of July 10th, 17th, 24th, 31st, and August 7th. So it would be 6 weeks. And last year we charged $175 per week, and then it was discounted slightly if you signed up for more weeks. This year, my proposal, at least initially right now, is that we raise the price per week from $175 to $225, and then discount it once again accordingly if you sign up for more. So basically what it equates to is no matter what you sign up for, you're paying $50 more per week than you would have last year. What they would get for this is 4 days at Club Getaway, and a club getaway lunch on every Friday, which we didn't do last year. And then every Wednesday they would get a trip off-site, a bus trip to an attraction, an amusement park, etc. And what Club Getaway would get is $50 per child per week would go to Club Getaway. And so basically in raising our price, we're basically simply raising the price to what by $50 per child, which is basically what we're going to give to Club Getaway. So we're simply passing on the additional expense of using Club Getaway to the user, basically to the client. And what Club Getaway, like I said, will give us, you know, I explained the 4 days, the lunch, but also they'd like to bring our counselors and staff in to be trained along with theirs. So they would be doing our camp training, which would be a bonus for us. All of our staff would be trained on their equipment and their policies, procedures, which we did not have the luxury of being able to do last year. So whereas we had Chris Heller, our camp director, doing a training, which he did a good job with, this would be obviously kind of next level as well. And that would be, you know, included. Basically, I would expect that we're going to fill all 25 spots each week. And what Club Getaway said is that if we see our wait lists are like crazy, we may even be able to add more kids per week. So there's some flexibility to all this in terms of how many kids we can take on, etc. But I just wanted to give you guys the bones and then discuss discuss what you guys thought.
Elaborate more on the training of our staff.
Yeah, so Club
Oh.
Getaway has a lot of obviously unique amenities there that we can possibly train our staff on without being present at Club Getaway. But furthermore, those unique amenities really require a knowledge person to train someone else on. So like we couldn't just show up and have Chris Heller or whoever was running our camp train our counselors on Club Getaway amenities. Club Getaway people need to do that. So they would do that. And they would basically lead our staff in their counselors training. So that would once again go over the amenities, you know, procedures, basically a day camp counselor training as a Club Getaway counselor would receive it. Which for all intents and purposes, our counselors semi become when they're there. I don't know if that made sense, John, sorry.
Would the Club Getaway people still be there?
Yes.
Okay, so if our group were to be doing the zip line, then the Club Getaway zip line operator would still be there.
Yeah,
but
certain
our
amenities.
counselors would also have the training, so that they're more knowledgeable when they bring the kids over.
Yeah, and so that if lower challenge amenities are open when we have our free time or whatever, that our
Yeah.
counselors can take the kids over instead of having to, like, let's say, you know, sometimes they would get a soccer game going, which is fine, but if they had a group of kids who wanted to play on the trampoline, now our counselors are able to supervise them. Whereas in the past, during certain free times, they wouldn't have been able to.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do we have any kind of a policy about a family that comes to us and says they want to participate in camp but can't afford the fee?
Yeah, last year we gave out around $4,000 in scholarships from the Kent Community Fund. I'm sorry, not 4,000. That was ASP. It was easily over 1,000 though. So yes, we do. We've been working with the Kent Community Fund all school year. It's been great, no issues. They're very pleased with the work we're doing. We're a well-oiled machine at this point, and Sam from Social Services has been a great advocate for us.
Make a motion that we move to 250.
25.
I think it's 225.
So it would be, what I'd like to do is 225 per week if you're signing up for 1 to 2 weeks. This is following the same thing we did last year. 200 per week if you're signing up for 3 to 5, and then 175 if you're signing up for all 6.
Great, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, great. Thanks so much for that, Jared. All right, swim program update.
Okay. Yeah, that was a quick turnaround from Friday, but we already have. Sorry, I'm just doing some mental math here. 26 signups, and Mo and I are meeting with the school on Wednesday to go over some pool use procedures, emergency action procedures. We're basically ready to rock and roll with respect to the program itself. The only thing we have to do is hire lifeguards, which are going to need to give that a little more time. However, I know, like I said, I know a lifeguard manager over in Patterson who has actually volunteered to come up and she's going to volunteer to lifeguard for the first session while we work out everything else, because she knows we started this all pretty late. And she has the credentials. She already sent it over, and then we will hopefully next week just have a special meeting to hire some other lifeguards and
But we had the job posted, correct?
Yeah, I have to get
Yeah.
that to Joyce, but I wanted to go over the salary, which
Oh, yeah.
after speaking with some other recreation departments, I'd like to set the salary at 17 an hour. We have our entry level at 15 an hour come June because of minimum wage. Obviously, being a lifeguard requires a certification. We have our program directors making 19 an hour. So I believe a lifeguard needing the extra certification should fall below a program director, but certainly above the entry level employees. And I believe 17 an hour would be a fair rate of pay and competitive with other areas, so that we're able to get people to apply for the job.
That makes sense.
A lot of the other towns were doing 18, and people are going for that rather than the lower rate. It's hard to get lifeguards. It really is. So
Yes, there is there's basically a lifeguard shortage everywhere. Like I said, I know a rec director out in Nevada who has the same problems that we do here with getting lifeguards. Just a different day and age in terms of back in the day, everybody I was in high school with, half of them became lifeguards. It's not the same anymore. So
Well, how extensive is the training course, hours wise and stuff?
lifeguard training course.
Yeah,
I actually don't know the answer to that question, but I know it is not just like a little one day thing. It's more intensive for sure.
Right.
And it's expensive as well if it's not offered for free.
yeah, even some towns are paying for it.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard too, John.
Yeah.
That's what they've
Hey,
normally they wouldn't do it because there's so many people trying to get the positions now, and to entice people, they say, we'll pay for your training. Yeah. Which hopefully we don't have to go down that road. But we'll see after we advertise.
The other thing too is if we run into a problem, we could try and call the Red Cross in Southbury, which is where their base is. So maybe you could reach out to them.
Yeah, definitely. And David at Club Getaway has been a great resource too. You know, because fortunately they have a waterfront and thus lifeguards. So that's a plus for us. We get lucky being here, having Club Getaway so close, you know, for a variety of reasons, apparently.
I think that all sounds good. I mean, I'd be okay with doing, so you think 17, Jared, will be enough?
Yeah, but if honestly, if John has heard of some places paying 18, I don't think it's gonna break the bank if we pay $1 more an hour. And if it entices people to come over here, I'm all for it. So I'm not, I don't think splitting hairs over $1 is worth it.
Yeah.
I think we should go for it, you know, and let's,
I'd be inclined to say 18 as well.
all right, then let's do it. 18.
So could I have a motion to advertise for lifeguards at an hourly rate of $18 an hour for park and rec programming?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Great. And then Jared, do we need to discuss Mo's stipend? I don't think
Yes,
that we
yeah.
approved that yet.
I would like to request that we pay Mo a stipend consistent with the stipend that Lee and Jim make. Lee and Jim run the program for 12 hours plus administration. Mo will be running the program, although for fewer weeks, more hours per day, and it also comes out to right about 12 hours plus administration. So I would like to request that I'm sorry. I would like to request that Mo receive a stipend of $300, whereas Lee and Jim each also receive a stipend of $300. I'd like to request that for Mo as well.
Is Mo an employee of Kent School?
I don't believe so. No, right, Julia?
No, she works on the Washington Town Ambulance, volunteers there, and then she runs, she's the manager of the beach club for Lake Warmug Club, managing all of the lifeguards as well as the snack bar and waterfront. But
So-
she's taught swim lessons around here for decades. So
Maybe
do
she
we
can
have?
entice some lifeguards to come over.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know-
her and I spoke earlier today, and she said she had some volunteers who were going to come over and help you know, here and there. So I think we're gonna have a really good team of people involved in this program. Like, we're really fortunate in so many ways just
Yeah,
to be able to throw together this program in a week and have such high caliber people involved is really, like, honestly, it's unheard of.
that's
So
awesome.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could we have a motion to pay Mo Van Mo for $300 for a stipend of $300 for running the Learn to Swim program at the Kent School?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
My second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, great. On to youth baseball.
I'm really happy to report our basketball program, much like our soccer program, was really super this year. We have just about 80 kids signed up, which is almost the same number we had for soccer. And the feedback has been really good from the parents. You know, our pre-K program, which is the Start Smart program, as you guys know, going great. We had almost 20 kids in that, which is really phenomenal. And then we have 4 teams in our K1 age group, and we had 3 teams in our second and third grade age group. they're playing games every night, and it's just like, it's a real basketball program. It's so fantastic to see. And the kids, they're just ecstatic, and the progress they're making is great. The volunteer coaches have been awesome. You know, which is once again going back to what we were talking about with Brian, but you know, Jerry Decker, Anna Duran, Billy McCann. I'm sure there's other people I'm forgetting, but it's been really awesome. And I think we're going to take the strength of basketball and soccer and roll it right into baseball. I mean, baseball as it was really successful last year, but I think now that we've established ourselves for 3 major sports, I think people know we're not a joke. We're the real deal. So what I'd like to do is just keeping it simple. We've been running all our sports now at $40 a child. I'd like to keep it that way for the upcoming baseball program. And I'd just like to begin advertising and taking registrations with the hope of starting sometime in April. We got to see how the fields are. And obviously now suddenly it wants to start snowing in March. So, you know, who knows how long that's going to go, but $40 a child. And I want to rock and roll.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds great.
Sounds awesome. I'll also
could
give
we
a
have-
shout out to Laura.
Oh,
Hanson.
Laura. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Laura's coaching
Yeah.
too.
Double,
Sorry about
double
that.
coaching.
Double question. Could we have a motion to offer our youth baseball program this spring at $40 a child?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All right, awesome. And now senior activities. Do you want to give an update on those, Jared?
Yeah. I just honestly, I couldn't be more thrilled with how the senior activities are going. And I know that's been the cause of a little bit of grief here and there, but they're just been phenomenal. And the feedback from the residents is it's so great. And I think I probably told you guys this story, right? But one of the seniors came up to me at one of the events and she was just like, you know, I just want you to know that like you've totally changed everything for us. And I absolutely love you. And she gave me a big kiss. And I was just, you know, I can't say enough as to how important it is for these people to have the activities we're providing them with. But also, you know, just that they're going super well. And I think Sam from social services would tell you all the volunteers. I mean, Julia has been at a bunch of events and we've had a lot of recurring volunteers who are just so happy to be a part of it. But our senior lunches now, we're running one a month. And usually we center the senior lunch around a holiday. So we did a Valentine's Day lunch. We're going to do St. Patty's Day in a few weeks. In February, we did New Year's, and we're getting consistently now 35 residents coming out, plus or minus, plus usually 4 or 5 volunteers as well. And the feedback I have gotten from a lot of the residents and also other social services and volunteers are that they weren't even getting 20 people per lunch pre-COVID. And now we've basically doubled that number. And so that's going super, super well. And, you know, plan is to keep that going. And then we have bingo. Obviously, we do that twice a month, the first and third Tuesday of each month. And once again, going really well. We're getting double digits turnouts every time. And, you know, we usually play bingo between an hour and 20 to an hour and 40 minutes. And once again, just a lot of positive feedback. We're seeing new faces each week, which has been great. And I wanted to add another senior program on the opposite days. So we had first and third Tuesdays for bingo. So we're doing second and fourth Tuesdays. It started out as like general board games and cards. But it's kind of, the focus has been narrowed to the game Rummikub, which is it's like a strategy tile game similar to Rummy, the card game. And so we're starting to develop a following with that as well. We have like a little whiteboard in the senior center with, you know, who's won the most games and stuff like that. So, you know, and that's been, you know, at the last bingo, everyone was like, yeah, you got to come out to Rummikub. So going really well. And then we have the Bridge Club now as well, which I guess that Bridge Club was around for a while in Kent, and it went defunct, I guess, during COVID, like everything. And the man who ran the club, because he knew Bridge, he approached social services about running it. But the problem is he had some people who were retired and played but weren't seniors, and they they've decided, with respect to the senior center, they want to take a really hard line on, if you're not 65 or whatever their age is, that it's the senior center isn't designed for other populations. And so we decided, myself, Sam, and Robert, the gentleman, we decided to just find an alternate location so we could keep those people involved. And so we spoke to the Congregational Church, and they said we could use their hall for free. We just had to give them insurance. So we now have the Bridge Group running twice a week at the Congregational Hall. And like I said, the only reason we're over there is just because we wanted to make sure that the people who weren't quite seniors still had the opportunity to play, and because they do play for 3 hours at a time, which social services wasn't sure they could provide the senior center for that long of a time period window.
Very good.
Yeah, it's going well, and that gives us now 4 recurring, consistent activities for the seniors, which I think is a really, really good. In a year, we went from 0 to 4, and 4 strong activities. I think that's something to be proud of for sure.
It's wonderful. It's really wonderful.
Yeah.
Pokemon Card Collectors Club.
Yeah, so it's interesting at our craft party, and honestly, it really had everything. And I'm sure Abigail being at basketball, and everywhere the kids go, they have their binders with their Pokemon cards. They're always taking them out, showing them to each other, trading them. And we were at the craft party, and a bunch of the kids stayed the whole time. And after a while, how much crafts are you going to do? And they all started looking at their Pokemon cards. They're sitting on the stage looking at Pokemon cards. And it just popped into my head, like, they love this stuff. Why not create a club or a program around it where they can come out and look at cards, and, maybe we order pizza, and, they could trade their cards. We could teach them how to play the game of Pokemon, which is actually a card game. Most people don't actually even realize that. And I spoke to the Youth Services Bureau, and I spoke to Kate over at the library, and they were all like, absolutely, like, it's the biggest thing we see as well. So we're starting to brainstorm ideas on how we can get the kids together, even if it's once a month. It's, hey, it's, third Friday of the month is Pokemon collectors night or whatever, or card collectors night. Like, I'm really big into baseball cards. I know some of the kids are getting back into that. So I don't really have a plan in place or anything just yet, but I just wanted to kind of put that idea out in the cyberspace for you guys. Because I think it's going to be a really cool way to just have the kids come out and just like do what they love. They already love doing it. Let's capitalize on that. That's all.
That's fun. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And then events, the extravaganza.
Yeah, I just basically wanted to get permission to rock and roll on that. I'd like to do it. Actually, there's really no other date to do it other than April 1st, with a rain date of April 2nd, because I really don't want to run the rain date, run it into the day before Easter. That's really tough for me. It's like a family stuff thing. But fortunately, not fortunately, but I'd like to set the time for 12 o'clock. So 1, if we do go to the rain date, it doesn't interfere with church, but 2, so that on the Saturdays, it doesn't interfere with swim. So,
Yeah.
I think, I mean, the format from last year worked exceedingly well. Obviously, there were some things I would have liked to have changed, and totally ready to do it again with some minor tweaks, and otherwise run it exactly as we did. And I don't know if you guys remember last year, we had like close to 100 kids, and I certainly think we'll be able to get that again.
Awesome.
That sounds
Um,
great.
All right, so could we have a motion to host our extravaganza on April 1st at 12 p.m. With a rain date of April 2nd?
So moved.
Second,
Any discussion?
Just to note, it's a free event for whoever's listening out there.
Awesome.
I hope, I think this is just as far as the success from last year, and and this will be just as successful. So and that's all I have about the extravaganza.
Yeah, I already I have a draft just waiting to go out to a bunch of groups. Last year, if you guys remember, the Youth Services Bureau helped run, and then KECNS, which I think they've since changed their acronym, Abigail, if that's correct. They
Yes.
okay.
KCNS. We
KCNS.
removed the E.
Okay.
Before we get too far, could we just quickly, all those in
Oh.
favor, say aye?
I.
aye.
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 All right, thank you. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, so I've already spoken to Houstonic, and they're definitely going to be back involved. The library said they want to be involved this year. I assume, KCNS will come back again, and so we should have like, four organizations involved. So it's really going to have that kind of Easter spring festival type feel to it. Once again.
It was an incredible turnout last year, so that's really exciting.
Yeah.
That's great. You guys, we have a lot to be excited about and proud of. And thank you all so much for your time tonight. And Jared, you're crushing it and doing a wonderful job. So thank you so much for all that you do.
Thank you all. Thank you. Is that the end of the agenda?
That is the end of the
Oh, wow.
agenda. So as long as everybody's good with it, I'm going to adjourn this meeting at 8:35 p.m.
Thanks,
Have a
Jared.
good
Thanks,
night,
Julia.
everyone.
Everybody.